All right, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachakodash. Double honors to the elder apostles and elder bishops of Great Millstone, who rule very well, very beautifully. Double salutations to the Akim out here pushing this gospel and truth and in sincerity to the best of their ability given to them by Yahweh Bahashem Shai. Peace, blessings, and salutations be unto the elect scattered abroad. May the election of Yahweh, Ba'ashim Shai, Lord willing, fall upon your houses. This is Brother Quanah Wath. Come back at you, Lord will, with the edifying lesson through the spirit and power. Yahweh, Ba'ashim Shai, Lord will. It is edifying, Lord will. It is straight to the point. But I was just watching this video, which one of the brothers, the brother you wanna, had sent to me. I think this from, GMS Testimonials, which I think, I might not, I'm not 100% sure, but I think it's one of the Georgia brothers, Valdesto, Georgia brothers channel. You know what I mean? And he had reposted this video of this brother, right? Which I'm pretty sure he's the brother from the Tampa Bay camp. I think that's what he mentions. It says his name right here at the bottom, Danya Allah, which I've never met this brother, man. This video, this testimony, man, is, it's a very beautiful testimony, man, because his brother, ultimately, states basically what he is going through and all the, afflictions and sufferings, right, that he is going through, and what he has gone through. I don't know if anybody's remembered or if anybody, remembers watching the video, right, that a brother did. He was, actually in a hospital bed. He's suffering, 3rd-degree burns, he's still through the spirit and power. Yahweh Shemel Shai was pushing videos, man, you know what I mean, and staying, doing the work of the Lord, man, and this is that same brother, man, which at first I didn't recognize him, I didn't recognize him from, that video to this one, right, because, this brother's, dealing with some physical ailments, that ultimately, play into that, But again, nonetheless, this brother, ultimately, he states in this video, the things that he's going through, right? But on the back end, man, this brother, which is a beautiful lesson, by the way, man, beautiful, very inspiring lesson that this brother, ultimately did, man, because at the end, he's ultimately, encouraging brothers, to continue in the faith, man, and, being that example, of, having suffered and is suffering afflictions, and so on and so forth, and staying faithful, right? Remaining faithful while going through these trials, these temptations, man, Again, beautiful brother, man, but I got a few precepts, man, right here. This is James 5 and verse 10. I want to make this too long. It says, take my brethren, the prophets, who have spoken in the name of the Lord, for an example of suffering, affliction, and of patience. Right, and this brother right here, man, is ultimately an example, right, unto you believers, right, of, suffering, afflictions and remaining patient, waiting on the Lord, man, and still calling upon the name of Yahweh Ba'ashim Shai, man. You know what I mean? Which, we also have, examples as well, within the scriptures, man. Apostle Paul, right? I'm going to come back to this, but we got, I'm going to go right to it. This is 2 Corinthians, the 11th chapter. I think that's... I'll start at verse 23. 2 Corinthians 11 and 23. This is Apostle Paul, right? It says, are they ministers of Hamashiach? I speak as a fool, I am more, in labors more abundant, in stripes above measure, in prisons more frequent, in deaths often, right? Of the Jews, 5 times received I 40 stripes, save one. Thrice was I beaten with rods, once was I stoned, thrice I suffered shipwreck. A night and a day I have been in the deep, in journeyings often, in perils of water, in perils of robbers, in perils by my own countrymen, in perils by the heathen, in perils in the city, in perils in the wilderness, in perils in the sea, in perils among false brethren, in weariness and painfulness, in watchings often, in hunger and thirst, in fasting often, in cold and nakedness. Right? So Apostle Paul was going through it at every moment, right? Of every waking moment, man. Every time, Apostle Paul went to go do the work of the Lord, he suffered something, man. You know what I mean? And this is ultimately a part of that path, man. Right? That straight and narrow path. This is something that, when we first came into the truth, man, we counted the cost, man. Right? We were watching videos about the straight and narrow path. We were watching videos about, the things that we're ultimately going to have to suffer, right? We're reading Sirach, the 2nd chapter, right? Like it, man. It's a lot different, right? When from speaking on these things than actually going through them, man. These things are hard, man. But at the end of the day, right, these things that we go through, man, they ain't nothing, man. Then let me grab this. This is Romans chapter 8 and verse 18, right? Verse 18, hitting the point, says, for I reckon that the sufferings of this present, matter of fact, I'll start verse 16. Romans 8 and 16, the Spirit itself beareth witness with our spirit that we are the children of the Most High. And if children, then heirs, heirs of the Most High, and joint heirs with Hamashiach, if so be that we suffer with him, that we may be also glorified together, right, man? Because at the end of the day, the servant is not greater than the master. So just as Yahushai is going to go through it, we're going to go through it too, right? In order to be, partakers of this promise, man, right? To have the first dominion, right? Of this promise, right? That Yahushai, ultimately died for, man. Died for us to be able to receive, Verse 18 says, for I reckon that the sufferings of this present time are not worthy to be compared with the glory which shall be revealed in us. So these things that we go through, right, they're really nothing, man. Even Yahushua, right, the greatest example, right, the author and finisher of our faith, the greatest example we have of afflictions and sufferings, he had that joy set before him. He knew that these things, right, he even said, my burden is light, roughly paraphrasing what he said, right? So it really ain't nothing, man. And that's how we have to look at these things, man. And that, watching this brother's video, man, is, it's ultimately inspiring because this brother has that same mentality, and to be honest with you, I'm not going through nowhere near what this brother's going through, right? Granted, brothers, each have their own, personalized, hell and suffering that we're all going through, right? But, I'll be the first to admit, the sufferings that I be going through are nowhere near, what this brother's going through, man. You know what I mean? I could only imagine, right, the mental afflictions that he's dealing with, being added to that, that physical affliction that brother's going through, man. Which you could ultimately go and look up this video, man, and watch it. Lord will, I could post it in the in the description box. I'm gonna try and post it in the description box. And this is a very beautiful video, man, a very inspiring video. That, hey, man, we really, the things that we go through, man, really ain't shit, man. Let me go back, because again, we have multiple examples, right? Romans, what is that? Slakia, I just had Slakia, man, but brain moving slow, man. But nonetheless, I go back, man. We have great examples. Slakia was Romans the 15th chapter, the 4th verse, man. The things that are written aforetime are written for our learning, right? And when we have, patient, patient and comfort. Matter of fact, let me go and grab it real quick. I don't want to, butcher it. Slakia. Romans 15 and 4, it says, for whatsoever things were written aforetime are written for our learning, that we through patience and comfort of the scriptures might have hope. That's right, man. Right. So we look at these things that our forefathers went through, man, and how they ultimately handled it, man. And that ultimately gives us that comfort that, hey, as long as we remain faithful, right, and continue to prove our faith, right, by doing the works. And well, guess what, man? The Lord will continue to have mercy on us, man. And the Lord will ultimately guide us and aid us through these afflictions, right, that we are going through in this time, right? Until Lord will be able to endure to make it to the end, because that's the name of the game, man. James 5, and also to verse 10 again, it says, take my brethren, the prophets, who have spoken in the name of the Lord, for an example of suffering, affliction, and of patience. Behold, we count them happy which endure, man. Because at the end of the day, they're doing it for the Lord, man, and they're going to receive, a glorious reward for that, man. Which you can read in, in what is the Acts the 5th chapter, at the end of that chapter, when the disciples were getting ultimately persecuted, and what they do, man, they rejoice and gave praise and thanks to Yahweh Bashem El Shai for being able to suffer for his name, man, because that's a blessing in itself, man. That's an honor to go through these sufferings and afflictions for Yahweh Bashem El Shai, man, doing his will and not our own, man, and that's going to be the mentality of the elect, It says, ye have heard of the patience of Job, right, man? Right? Everybody knows about Job, man, and what he went through, right? He lost his children, he lost his servants. He basically lost his wealth, man, right? His livestock. He lost it all, man, And in the midst of losing it all, Job, ultimately, roughly paraphrasing what he says, the Lord giveth and the Lord taketh away, man. You know what I mean? Blessed be the name of the Lord, Yahweh Bashem El Shai, roughly paraphrasing what he said, man. So, he was a righteous man, even in losing those things, man. And just as Apostle Paul said, man, he counts all things as dung, right? Whether he's got to lose, family members, losing property, losing, all these different things for Yahweh Bashem El Shai, knowing that he's going to get it back, man. Like it says in, Matthew 19 and 29, man. It says, ye have heard of the patience of Job, and have seen the end of the Lord, that the Lord is very pitiful and of tender mercy. That's right, man. The Lord is merciful, man. And at the end of the day, man, those men, right? Apostle Paul, right? Hey, that's an elect member. Job, that's an elect member. These are men that have the spirit of endurance, right? And that will continue to endure and continue to push through sufferings, right? All the way until the kingdom is established, man. Right? All throughout their lifetimes, man. That's the traits and characteristics of the elect, man. Being able to push through, man. Right? And when you read these accounts of these men, right? Even though Apostle Paul was, mentioning the things that he ultimately went through, hey, he ain't complaining, man. Not complaining at all. Neither one of these men. Yahweh Shai didn't complain. Job didn't complain. You know what I mean? Yes, these men were in mourning, right? Yahweh Shai, went to the Garden of Gethsemane, and he prayed to the Lord, right? That, that the Lord ultimately passed that cup, by him, because he didn't want to go through it, but he knew he had to go through it, man. And Job, he says, shall we not receive, good at the hand of the Lord and not evil, So he knew he was going to go through, both sides, man, just as Apostle Paul did, man, So we have to take, these men's, sufferings, right? And their acts of faith, right? As something to learn from, man. Something to learn from and to be inspired by and to continue to push, right? All the way through to the end, just as they did, man. You know what I mean? Because again, I'll be the first to say, man, nothing that, I'm going through in this moment, or have been through, which I know things are going to get a lot worse, right? Jacob's trouble is around the corner, man. Everything's going to turn up. Spirits are going to get, hey, the Lord's finna, the Lord's about to really test everyone's faith, right? So I know it's, it's going to get a lot harder for everyone, But in this current moment, man, we have to be grateful, right, for the things that, that the Lord Yahweh Shem El Shai is putting us through in order to make us, right, strong enough to get through the times, man. Again, everybody has their own personal hell, right? Tailored to them, But at the end of the day, man, the Lord's still dealing with us, man. And that's something that we got to, praise and give thanks to Yahweh Shem El Shai for, man. We're almost out of here, man. So again, everything is going to start turning up, right? But hey, at the same time, and we gotta continue to go hard for Yahweh Shem El Shai and pray that Yahweh Shem El Shai turn our faith up as well, man. To be able to go through these things, man. Gotta continue to go hard, man, for Yahweh Shem El Shai, man. And may the Lord Yahweh Shem El Shai, ultimately, bless that brother. Because again, that was a very inspirational video, man. And I believe, a lot of brothers who saw that, man, ultimately felt that, you know what I mean, and wish, the best for that brother in the name of Yahweh Shem Shai, man, But I'll end it right here. I got one more. This is 2 Timothy chapter 2 and verse 3. It says, therefore endure hardness as a good soldier of Hamashiach Yahweh Shai. And that's self-explanatory, man. Right? Continue to endure, continue to fight the good fight of faith, man. We're almost out of here, man. So with that, Lord will, it was edifying, Lord will, straight to the point. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rachak Wadash. Double honor to the elder apostles, the elder bishops, the great millstone. Till next time, I see Shalom.